You. I hope you're doing well. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy New Year and thank you for coming on to my live tonight. Thank you guys for coming on to my live. I really appreciate it. So today is Sunday, January 11th. It's 6:27 p.m. I'm on here a little bit early because I'm tired. It's been a busy weekend for me and I'll be going to bed soon. I know some people go to bed at midnight. I'm one of those people, but one of my goals in 2026 is to go to bed a little bit earlier. I'm trying not to be a night owl anymore because as you get older, you need more rest. You need more rest. So today I had a busy day. I had a sporting event, was there all day, just got home about a half an hour ago, and I decided I'll just come on live now, you know. I'll just come on live now and then so that I can talk to you guys sooner than later. I won't be on for much for a long time. I'll only be on for a little bit, a short while tonight. So my topic is pretty much for tonight: are men obliged to provide for women in 2026? Traditionally, men are meant to provide. They worked, they did everything. They were the providers. They were obligated to provide for women. If you're dating a man, most women, they want a man to provide, pay for the date, give them money, do this and do that. But traditionally, yes, a man was obligated to provide for a woman, but in 2026, no, they're not. A man is not obligated to pay for a woman that is not his spouse. A man is not obligated to pay for a woman, that's not his significant other. He's not. But is it traditionally, is it favorable for a man to provide for a woman? Yes, most women still want men to provide for them. A woman don't want to date a guy who can't provide. A woman don't want to date a man who doesn't spoil them. A woman don't want to date a guy who doesn't financially, he's not able to take care of her. So they're not obligated to provide in 2026, but it's favorable if they provide because most women don't go for a man who cannot provide for them. Yes, there is a lot of professional women. There's a lot of professional women who can provide for their own. A lot of women who has their own money, they work hard, have their own finances and they don't need a man. But for those females, if they start dating or they they're looking for a long-term partner, they would prefer for him to meet her standards. A woman don't normally date a guy who doesn't make as much as her because that man will feel emasculated. His ego will be ruined. I don't care what society is, putting in our faces in 2026, woman power, but men, their ego are bruised if they know that women make more than them. They're bruised. Unless you're a manipulator and a user, you don't want a woman that makes more than you do. No man do. A man prefer women to, look up to them. They prefer for women to provide for them. I'm talking about if men are obligated to provide for women in 2026. That's pretty much the topic because it's like a lot of women, a lot of men are emasculated if they feel like their partner makes more than them or if they can't provide. I think a lot of women will put a man down if he's not financially capable of providing for her. I'm not saying all women, but some women do. So my thing is a man is not obligated to provide for women in 2026, but it's more favorable for a man to provide for a woman in 2026 because a man's ego will be bruised if he cannot provide. A woman, if she works hard, have her own finances, she doesn't want a man who cannot help her. She doesn't want a man who, say the woman is making about 200,000. She's not going to pick up a man who's making $50,000. That is not going to happen. The guy's ego is going to get really messed up. Unless that guy's manipulating her or using her, then the relationship will not work. And if she's feeling, like she's being manipulated or fooled, then the relationship will not work. So if men are not obligated to pay for women, and also the 50-50 thing, if you're with your partner, it's up to the two people in the relationship. 50-50, I don't believe in 50-50. I believe a man should definitely provide. We work as women. Most women work. So of course we're gonna assist in helping with in our household. We are. There's not a lot of stay-at-home moms. Most of the stay-at-home moms in 2026, most of them you see them on social media. You see them on social media, and their social media is thriving. If a man is successful enough where his wife can stay home, that man will probably belittle the woman. He'll belittle the woman, and he won't see her as up here, because a lot of women today are very professional, and a lot of them are working. They're working. If they're home, stay at home moms, they're doing social media and bringing home money for their household. High solutions. They're bringing in money for their household. So, no, I don't think a man is obligated to provide, but I think it's best for them to provide, because a lot of women will bruise their egos. They'll bruise their egos. And that's just my take on that. That's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. It's not a fact. I believe a man should provide. A man should provide. What does LDR mean? I don't know what that means. So a lot of women believe a man should provide. So what do you guys think? Do you feel like a man is obligated to provide in 2026? Or do you think not in 2026? A lot of people are still believing in traditional relationships. But traditional relationships don't work. It will not work in 2026 due to the economy. It's hard for one person to pretty much take care of the household. If they're making millions of dollars, yes, they will be able to take care of the household. But if someone is making about 200,000 in the United States, you won't be able to take care of your household. You'll still be struggling. That's how much the US economy has made it. 200,000, you both will need to work. And it depends on the state, of course. So, yes, I believe if you're in a relationship, a marriage, a boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever, if you're in a relationship where you both work together and say you help each other, that's what I believe. You work with each other. The man provide in one way and the woman provide in another way. Finan- my question was pretty much about financial. Do you guys think a man is obligated to provide in 2026? For example, I have a friend who his whole thing was, I want to stay at home mom. I don't want my wife to work. I don't want my wife to work. I don't want my wife to work. But when he got married, it was the opposite. The wife didn't want to stay home. She just felt like she needed her own. So it depends on the woman and it depends on the relationship. It's very hard to have traditional relationships in 2026 because of the economy and because of women's mindset. Most women are very independent and they want to have their own finances. They want to be able to be free. Most men who most men who financially provide and the woman is a stay-at-home mom, I don't think that woman is being treated fairly. She have to deal with a lot of things in the background in order to live that lifestyle and let it look like, it's like a healthy relationship. That man is probably never there. He's probably always traveling and she's probably alone with her children all the time. She's probably alone with her children all the time. Hi, Nero. How are you tonight? So she's probably alone, and the man is traveling, and she's living in some sort of depression. So, to me, you have to work together in 2026, and not just 2026, but whatever going forward. You work together, you work with each other to make your relationship work. Providing is up to the two people in the relationship. If you both think that if you guys should have a system that you work with. A woman who says she likes to pay to me is a mockery. Women who states they like to pay for a man is a mockery. Now, I've had that conversation with someone because I saw on her live, she stated that, oh, she was on a date actually on her live. And on her live, she was on the date talking to the man saying, oh, sometimes I pay. And the guy, you can tell in his voice, he felt uncomfortable because he didn't want her to say, oh, I pay sometimes. He's like, okay, I'll pay. To me, that's like a masculine woman. Why would you be sitting at a date with a man that you're trying to get to know and state, oh, I'll pay sometimes? I would never in my life sit in front of a man and say, I'm paying. For what? I'm not never gonna pay for a man, on a date. I'm never gonna make a man feel like I have money where I can take care of myself. A woman should never do that. You should never let a man feel like, oh, I don't need you financially. A man should always be able to take care of the woman. I would sit in on a date and telling a man, oh, I can pay sometimes. In what world? In what world am I dating and then telling a guy I can pay sometimes? That will not happen. I have friend groups where we have male and females in our friend groups, and we'll go out with males, and then the females, he'll pay for all our meal, That's just the type of men that I know. I don't know men who will say, "Oh, I'll let a woman pay." Their egos will be bruised. Well, the type of man, and the type of men that I've known, their egos will be bruised. Right. It's weird when a woman say they want to pay. They want a man to think pretty much, oh, they have money, they're rich. And I feel like a lot of females have male energy where they want to dominate financially or they want to take care of themselves. But no, a man is supposed to take care of us. They're supposed to be financially able because if you show a man that you can take care of yourself, like your situation, you take a man on a date and you say, oh, I can pay for my date, then what will the man do for you in the future? He won't ever spoil you. He won't ever make you feel like a princess or a lady because you're already telling him, I don't need you to treat me like a lady. I can pay for my meal. I don't need you to pay for my meal. Then what's the point of going on the date with the man? What's the point of going on a date with a man if you don't need him to pay for anything? You just pretty much need him to look at you and say you're pretty. No, a man have to financially be there and help. Right. It's a two-way situation. When you're dating, yeah, you have to pay for meals, you know? You have to pay for meals when you're dating. Yeah, a lot of women have taken advantage of men. I know that. But I do understand that. But I also know that a man is to provide. Now, I saw a story on Instagram where a girl went on a date with a guy and she bought her friends along the date. And I think the meal came up, it was a large amount, a very large amount. She bought like a few of her friends, and then she wanted the guy to pay for her and her friends. Now, in that case, I don't think the guy should pay for her and her friends because the date was with her. It wasn't for you and your friends. And the guy didn't pay for any of them. He just paid for him because he thought what the girl did was disrespectful. And I feel, yes, it's disrespectful. If you don't like a guy, why would you invite a bunch of your friends on a date? And if I was a man who, my intention was to go on a one on one date with a female, and I see that she's here with all of her friends, I would automatically leave. Why would you stay at why would you stay, at the date? You know something is up if she's bringing her old friends, her whole crew of friends. She's not that into you. She pretty much want to use you. So, right, if the female pays, most most men will, their egos will be bruised. Most men will feel like, oh, they pretty much, those type of men, if they accept a woman paying for them, those type of men are red flags anyways. Those type of men are ready to use you and take you for everything that you have. You show them you have money, well, they're ready to take you for all of it. They'll take whatever money, like you'll have to pay for their vacations, you'll have to constantly take them out to eat, you have to buy them luxury items. They won't spoil you like you're their girlfriend. You'll become the man and they'll become the woman. Right, near. Well, I feel like if you have women like that who just want to use you for a date, then you should know. I've went on dates before, and then I've gone on dates the guy paid, but I knew like after the date I wasn't interested. You have to date to get to know people, but I didn't go to say, oh, I'm going for a free meal. It was a date and it was a free meal, but the guy paid. But I've always, they paid. Lincoln, if you need a girl to connect to you, then I can definitely try to help you. Capstone, are you one of the men who wants a woman to pay for you and you manipulate them? Yeah, I know a lot of women like that. I know a lot of men like that that will do that. And I also know men that they refuse to use women. A lot of men, their egos will be bruised, and there are women who will definitely bruise your ego. They'll let you know about yourself if you they'll let you know about yourself if you want them to pay for everything. In 2026, I feel like if you're getting to know someone and you're trying to date them, yes, you have to pay for the woman. If you don't have money, then don't try to date. Woman, it's too expensive in 2026 for you to try to date and you don't have money. You know? Don't try to do that because a lot of women are fueled by social media. They want the lifestyle, the fancy restaurants, going on vacations. I'm not saying majority of women, but most of them do. They're being fed that they have to be wined and dined. They have to have this soft life. They have to be treated a certain way. And do I disagree? I don't disagree. I feel like a woman should be treated a certain way. If you want a woman to be your wife, to be the mother of your children, she have to be treated softly. I feel like a lot of men in this society now, they want a woman to be their mothers, and then they don't treat the woman right. They want you to pretty much take care of them, and then they don't provide for you, and they don't do anything. If you're dating a girl and going on a date, the intention of you is to catch the girl. So you catch her by what? You're paying for her, you're buying her gifts, you're doing this, you're doing that. But Right. A lot of men have to chase the girl. You have to chase it, but it is a part of your ego. If so tell me, if a girl come to you and chase you, would you ever date a girl that came to you and chase you? You know, would you ever do that? Hi guys, I hope you're doing good. Really? She got a free meal, right? There's women who are like that. They will get free things from men. They just like men are manipulators, there are women who are master manipulators. You know, they're master manipulators and they will get what they want. It's a two-way street in the dating world. It's a two-way street. A lot of bad stigma have been placed on men, that men are this, men are that. But in these times, the women are doing the same things the men are. So men have to be careful too. And men have to be careful, and women will use you for all you got. You know, a lot of men are going out of the country to bring women here thinking those women are better than American women's. But those women will take you for all you have too. They'll take all your money. Men, wake up. Don't ever be desperate for a woman. Once you're desperate, she will definitely get you for what she will get you for what you have. Oh, Nira, you never had a woman chase you, Nira. Oh my goodness, that's odd. Most men had women chase them. Okay, you were too shy okay. Well, that happens, Nira. Maybe you don't put yourself out there to be chased, but a lot of women will provide. If you're providing for a man, that's kudos to you, but I can't see myself doing that. I would be one of those women who would bruise his ego. I would bruise his ego. Yeah, Nero, people are so it's not about height. You know, I think a lot of women are talking about if you're not tall, they're not going to chase you. I'm definitely the woman who is like, you have to be tall. I don't know why I'm obsessed with tall, but I feel like some women, they date anyone. It doesn't matter the height. If the person is a nice person, they'll date them. Do you guys watch the show Pop the Balloon? A guy will have a good career and good everything, and they'll pop their balloons because they're 5'6" or they're not tall enough. But it's not about the height. When you're any age, you have to, the man have to be able to provide for you, have to treat you with respect, you know, wine and dine you. He just treats you the way you're supposed to be treated. It's not about the height. And I think women have been fooled about the height. A man have to be a certain height. Sometimes a tall man will treat you worse because those are the men who are chased. And a tall man will look like he have money. He'll look glamorous and he have nothing. A shorter man might treat you way better than a tall man. It's pretty much based on the person. It's based on the attributes, the character of the man. As you get older, you'll realize that it's not about the height. So Nero, I don't think 5'6" have anything to do with it, because definitely they have some guys who are 5'6" that have what they call the Napoleon complex, and those men, they can get any woman they want. You know, women will chase them based on their look at Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather, yes, he's a boxer, but he's not tall, and he have a lot of different women, a lot of different baby mothers. It's not always about the height. It's not about the height.
Mama.
Right. It's not about the height at all. The Napoleon complex is it's a negative trait, But a lot of men have a lot of confidence, even if they're below what's the average height? The average height is 5'9" in the US. Uh, a lot of men just have confidence. It depends on the person. There's women who they're what is it, insecure because they're not a certain height. But right, the Napoleon complex is a negative trait. I do understand that. I'm just basically saying there's men who are not average height or above that they have a big ego. When you step in the room, when they step in the room, you definitely have to see them and their height. There are women who chase them. It doesn't matter their height. So you stated a lot of women didn't chase you and you mentioned your height. So that's why I'm mentioning that. Sometimes it have nothing to do with height that women chase you or not. If there's a man that look good, he dressed good, he carry a certain aura, the woman will definitely chase him. So about that's how I feel pretty much. But yeah, Napoleon complex can be it's not a good trait. It's not a good thing, but I'm just saying the reason why I put Napoleon complex is I was talking about how their egos are very big. It's high because that's pretty much what the Napoleon complex is. They have a big ego even though they're not tall. And Nira, what would money do? What would money do in your life? How will it help you? Will it help you? Are you single, Near, or are you dating? Who's Laura from Catsy? Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Right. If you don't have height as a man, it's like you have to have money to take care of the woman because if I feel like the height thing is very bothersome to me that people are so obsessed over the height. They're so obsessed over, well, I've always said I wanted to date a tall guy, 6'2" and above. Like that would be my husband, but it's not. And it's okay because we have this complex that we're like height, 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 but height have nothing to do with anything. It's based on the character of the person. A man can be shorter and he's much better. Yeah, height have nothing to do with anything. Nira, why do you want to go to Finland? It's cold there. You're just obsessed with Finland. And you don't need money to go to another country. You have to watch those expats from the expats on YouTube who they don't have anything and they go and they start a new life. That's the misconception about moving, that you have to be super rich in order to move. Yes, you need money to survive, but how much? Do you have any children? Are you going by yourself? That's true, Gino. If you look good and you're not a millionaire, a woman will, if you look good and they saw a guy who looked less presentable than you, they will definitely go for the man with the money. A lot of women go for men with money, but one lady I heard, she said she don't care about money. And to me, a woman should always care about money because a woman likes fancy things. Not all women. There's some women who are down to earth. They don't need anything. They're very minimalist and they just survive off. They don't need to wear luxury and they don't need to go to all these fancy vacations. They're just okay with everyday stable life. But a lot of women, they just love luxury. They love to get their hair done, their nails done. They love to travel, dress nice, and they love those, they love that. That's the art of being a woman. That's the thing about being a woman. We get to dress up, we get to look nice. And we like men who are millionaires. Most women like men who have money. But is that the reality of most women that are dating now? No, not all women are dating men who have money. So that was my question. Are men obligated to provide? And they're not, because women will date a man who can't provide. If a woman love you and she's making more than you, she's willing to go and she's willing to provide. It's not, it's odd, it's mind blowing to certain people, but it's very much normal for women to be making more than a man in 2026. A lot of people won't accept it or won't want to be a part of that type of relationship, but it is what it is. It's up to the two people in the relationship. If you're okay with with a woman providing for you, then that's you. We can't tell, but there's people, when you see most of these Hollywood or celebrity divorces, that's why the woman is probably shining the man, making more money than the man, and it's making the man feel emasculated. In real life, too, a lot of divorces are caused based on financial. It's based on one party's not making more money than the other, and one party's not providing. A woman will definitely leave a man if he's not providing. She'll work hard and have her money, but eventually that woman will feel like she's being used or feel like the man is her child or something. She won't look at the man as her equal if he's making well below, like I mentioned before, 200,000 and 50,000. And that can be based on if a relationship you guys both started low and then the man did not progress or something. There's plenty of variances why that could happen. But should finances mess up a relationship? No, because finances can be fixed. You guys can work together to make things for yourself, make yourself successful together. It's up to the two people in the relationship. You guys have to work together. Happy New Year, Bob Marley. Oh, Nero. Okay. Well, Nero, I hope you get your dream to move to Finland. I have to look into. Oh, I heard that Sweden was the richest. So I would love to visit Sweden because their Christmas, it just looked really beautiful in Sweden. I did look up Sweden actually, but I've never looked up Finland or Denmark. I've never done that, but I will definitely research certain places. I've looked up Finland, but it might be cold for me. Okay, well, Nero, I wish you all the best if you're able to get money and travel to Finland. I hope you can do that. Right. Once Trump takes over the Greenland, you probably can visit Finland. Serene, you're probably right. Yeah, the winter wonderland is so beautiful over there, so I would definitely want to experience, because I believe they said either Switzerland or Sweden, the Christmas there is out of this world. Like, you have to see it. It's different. The lights and everything is on a different level. Okay. Nira, I hope you get your wish, but I don't feel like Trump is older. How long will he be in office? He might he might not be in office too long. He might not, but if you're able to move, move. So right now, Near, I don't believe you're waiting on providing. You're not worried about providing for a woman because your main goal is to get out of the US and move to Finland. So that's not happening for you in right now. But I hope everything works out. But guys, yeah, I was talking about providing and okay, as a woman, I would say if you have it, I'm not telling a woman to provide. No, I would not tell a woman to provide. I'm sorry, but some women might disagree with me about providing for a man. I would not provide for a man, but in a marriage, when you're married, you both have to work together. Definitely. If you Thank you so much. So if you have your husband and say you're celebrating his birthday, of course, you can spend on your husband. But in the dating stage, guys, I feel like a man should chase a woman. He should have the finances because in the end it will hurt you. In the end it will hurt you if you act like you're the one being a provider because a woman is not, we're not the same as a man. A man is, to me, and people will come for me, a man is, they're supposed to be the provider. They're less emotional. They're able to handle certain things that we can't. What are you saying, Nira? What does what where does Trump want his kids? So Trump wants his kids to stay in the United States. You know, I need to pay attention to politics because I know, to me, I try to ignore it because it gives me a lot of, it makes me so anxious because I don't feel like things are going the way it should. So it gives me a lot of anxiety. So I try to stay away from it. Also, it's just, it's going left, like people would say. Oh, so he wants to be like the Kennedy family. Okay, well, I hope they don't allow that to happen because the Kennedy family, I feel like they were a good family, but for his family, they don't think that he's doing anything good for the country, but I have to read into politics. I'm not really into it, but what I've seen that's happening in the US and all over the world, it's pretty much crazy to me what's happening. Right. And I don't think that should happen near because Trump doesn't own the United States. He's just a president. Why would they let him have that control where his whole family is the dynasty of the US? There was so many others before Trump, so why wouldn't their family be the dynasty? So I feel like in the US they put people in power that they have no idea who they are or who their agenda what their agenda is for the country. And when things are hitting the fan, it's like the citizens are protesting all over. Every day here I see protests about ICE. I drive and they're up, I look up on the bridge and they're protesting about ICE. They're protesting left and right. So people voted him in, and I'm sure they saw the red flags before they voted him in. Who is Philip? Before they voted him in. But we just have to try, hope and pray that that doesn't happen, Nira, because if you in your eyes see that he's not doing well, okay, healthcare to me is very important. Healthcare is very important, and I feel like I've heard plenty of places say we are getting free healthcare, and other countries outside of the US, and I feel they do have some free clinics here, some free healthcare. However, it's not the best. It's not the best. So, free healthcare, I think free, people getting time off work, that's good for the citizens for sure. That's very much good for the citizens. And what else? There was something else that I was thinking of. I can't think of it now, But definitely, I think the president should be looking out for its people. And, but we voted for him. Not me. I said we, as in the country. I didn't vote for him. I'm sorry for saying we. I didn't. And guys, please don't forget to like my live as you enter the live. I was saying we need help here. Aren't you guys surprised of how many people are suffering from mental health in the US? Mental health was not a thing before, and I'm sure mental health existed, but do you guys see how many things are happening, like crucial things, dangerous things, tragic things, and everything is being blamed on mental health. Why did mental health become such a thing? Why is it being push mental health so people can do anything because of mental health? And if healthcare, they need to provide healthcare for mental health, more resources for mental health. If because if you're saying someone with mental health can hurt someone and get away with it, then you have to provide resources that will help them so that they're not able to hurt other individuals. You know, you just hear of all these stories of people hurting people due to mental health. I do apologize, Nira. I hope you get some help for that. You know, there's a lot of parents who bully their kids because they just think their kids are their bosses of their kids, but you're not supposed to bully your kids. Your kids are not your friends, no. But you can talk to your kids just like I'm talking to you guys. You should talk to your kids. Get to have a relationship with your kids. You know, your kids have a mind of their own, and your kids are humans too. They have feelings. You have to really talk to them, comfort them, and listen to them, because your children will eventually grow up to be adults and have their own lives. So whatever you do to your kids will haunt them. So try to be good to your kids and, treat them good. And I'm sorry you had to go through that, Nira, because that's not good. And I'll have another topic for another day about parents who, they either verbally abuse their kids, mentally abuse them, physically abuse them. They're not supportive. A lot of parents are jealous of their children. A lot of parents will date, like, say, single moms will date the same men their kids are dating, their daughters are dating, or it's just a mess when it comes to certain parent child relationship. It's not very nice, but I I pray for people who have parents who are, not the best of parents. Right. I think mental health definitely is about inequality in the USA. It's just you have to wonder why it's pushed in our faces. I'm not saying, you know, people don't have mental health, but then they have people who they give them the medicines. They let them take these medicines where they can't come off of the medicines. If they come off, it will make it worse for them. And if the US is researching so much, they're doing research for artificial organs, artificial this, they're cloning this, cloning that, then why can't you find a medicine that will help people with mental health, that the medicine will not make it worse for the person who's taking the pill? The medicine will not make the person harm someone or harm themselves. Mental health will not harm. So I think the US should definitely work on medicines that will help people. And if people don't want to take medication, then have some retreats that could help, like health retreats, wellness retreats that will help. I think mental health is so strong in the US because the US is a very stressful place to live. a lot of things are being pushed into people's places, especially the news, social media, everything that's happening in the world. It caused people a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and it's being placed in their faces. Not everyone can handle the world problems, and people just doing crazy things like unaliving people in a mall, doing it's just very chaotic. What's happening in the US today is very chaotic. So you're saying, right, that's crazy, Jankla, that the money for healthcare goes to the to military complex, and there's so many people who are, veterans who are very mentally because of what they saw, the things that they have to saw, the things that they saw, and the resources are not being used to help the veterans. A lot of veterans are homeless, and have a lot of mental health issues. A lot of people don't like Elon Musk. Joseph, a lot of men do owe women a lot. And you're the problem, Joseph. Why would a woman go work and pay their own bills when they have to, have your babies? Can she work? I feel it's so sad when a woman is pregnant and she's working up to 9 months into the pregnancy. What type of world are we living? Have no sympathy towards women. They want a woman to act like a man and then also be a woman as well. How can a woman act like a man and be a woman as well? I feel like if a woman have to provide and be a man, then why do you want to sleep with her? Why? Why do you want to be with her? That's pretty much she's being a man. She can provide and do everything for herself. So you want her to have her babies and work up to 9 months? That does not make any sense. Well, no one is better than anyone because they have more money. That's just a mentality. People they're egotistical when they gain some sort of wealth or try to put people down because they have some sort of wealth. Can you guys hear me now? Please let me know if you can hear me. Hello? Okay. So I was saying, Nero, that you should not think because someone have more money that they're more important. And you'll be surprised at the people who have money who are insecure and they feel like you're better than them, because you're free and the way you live your life. You'll be quite surprised. So don't ever look at anyone and think they have more money than you. Don't ever look at anyone that they have more money than you. Don't ever look at that. Always have confidence in yourself. You're unique in your own way. Money does not make a person. It doesn't define you. It's just it's money. Money can come and go anytime, you know? So don't ever think because someone have more money than you, they're better than you. That's what I'm telling you. That's what they're teaching us in the US. That's what they're teaching us. In some countries, people do not care. People mix and mingle. Money is just money. Anyone can get it. So I feel a lot of people, their egos are fueled by money because their attachments to material items will make them feel a certain way. But it's up to you to make yourself feel special. Don't worry about people. Don't worry about how much money they have. That have nothing to do with you. Trust me. That have nothing to do with you. Nero, it's okay if you're not rich. You should not make it, it shouldn't make you feel bad. I understand we do want to be rich, right? Someday we'll be rich, Nero. Me and you will be rich someday. And the rest of my life, whoever is listening, don't forget to like, you'll be rich someday. I'm telling you, whoever is hearing me speak, you'll be rich. But it's okay if you're not rich. There's so many people who have a happy, healthy life and they're not rich. Right, Janksa. You guys don't have a gun problem, and I think that's why things are better there. What part of Europe do you live in, Janksa? The gun problem here is such a issue. I think everyone can get their hands on it, and anyone can just, walk in and do anything to anyone. You can't say what you want to say anymore. You can't react how you want to react anymore because someone can just take out a weapon and unalive you because of your opinion or, you know, your look at. I know a lot of people didn't, you know, that guy, I don't even want to talk about in Charlie Kirk, that guy. He got unalive based on his opinion and thinking. I know he had a cult, people following him, but I don't agree with people just taking you out because of the words that come out of your mouth. You have to have more of a stronger backbone, and you have to have more. I always talk about emotional intelligence. You don't unalive somebody because they have a different opinion than you. They speak differently, they think differently. They say this shouldn't happen and you say this should happen. You should not unalive someone because of words. Oh, you're from the Netherlands. They say the Netherlands is very safe there, correct? You know, people should have, in America, they're saying one of the Constitution, freedom of speech, and you cannot speak freely. Even if you say certain things on YouTube here, they'll cut your video off or they'll, your page can be shut down. You cannot speak freely in the US. We're like robots. We can't say what we want. We can't do what we want. And what type of world what type of world is that? It's like we all have to be robots. We all have to agree and disagree. What type of conversation will it be if you agree with everything that I say and I agree with everything that you're saying? That means we're neither of us are learning, neither of us are evolving. Neither of us are growing. So I feel that's a problem in the US that people cannot they can't speak freely. If they speak freely about what's in their head, then they get canceled or they get unalived. It doesn't make any sense to me. Hi, Devita. How are you? Yes, I do. I think it was 2 days ago, not yesterday. I think it's crazy because it's mental health. I think also a lot of people, you know how they legalize marijuana. And I think people think that makes people sane. It makes people kind of crazy, mental. So I think it's just the things that they allow in the US that have made people mental, you know? Yes, Davika, it was 2 days ago. So there's things in the US that have made people mental. It's just US wants to be such a free country, free to do this, free to do that. And yes, we're supposed to be free to do this, to be that, but to what extent? they're trying to cut out God, they're trying to cut out religion, but to what extent? So they're saying people can smoke all they want, and smoking, it's a gateway to other drugs. And I feel like that's why the country's crazy. They allow people to use whatever they want and do whatever they want. A lot of people have access to things that they don't have, they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have access to, not everyone can mentally, do marijuana. Like, no, they can't. Right. I like to be around people who can. I have a lot of intelligent friends, and I would say some of them are smarter than me, and I can talk to them and they teach me things, you know, and we can talk for hours. I'm talking to you guys now on live, but some of them have lots of facts because they're just intelligent, and I can call them and ask them for, advice and how do I do this, because they're older and I'm like they'll call me like their little sister, but they're not that much older. They're like in their early 50s or late 40s, maybe a few years older than me, but the conversations we have is so great. So my advice to you guys is you should have people who are smarter than you in your group. You should have people who are smarter than you that are your friends. You can be smarter than some of your friends because you can also teach them, but always have people who know more than you. They know how to get information. They're just intelligent. I'm not saying you guys can't feed off each other. You can, because sometimes you may know something and your friends don't know something, and you guys can all help each other. I totally agree with you, Davika. I totally agree. Right. Right, Nira. If I was successful, I would I mean, if I was a millionaire or a billionaire, I would definitely help the homeless, because that is like, I don't like seeing people homeless. I remember I was walking, I do walk, the weather get warmer, I'll do trails or a park. And I was walking by a park. It's like a park, and then there was a bridge, and there were tents under the bridge. I didn't like that. I don't like to walk and see people with tents under a bridge. Tents under a bridge. And I was walking with my children, and I had to explain to them why these people had tents under the bridge. So I would definitely help the homeless. Healthcare, I would help. And I definitely have a heart for single moms. So yes, single moms will definitely be on the top of my list for helping. Single mothers who the fathers are no longer here, like they're deceased, or they live in another country and cannot help them, or anything, they're not helping. So that would be a big thing for me, single moms and people who are homeless. And I also would help kids with education, like tutoring, try to help tutoring with kids. Like, I know I can't give you guys all my ideas, but I have something really special if I ever was to become a millionaire. Nero keep talking about becoming a millionaire, so we all could just say one day we'll all be millionaire. Yeah, Nero like Bitcoin, but I don't really like Bitcoin because a lot of a lot of people have become successful off Bitcoin, but they do say Bitcoin is not how it used to be. When Bitcoin came out initially, like way back then, when did Bitcoin come out? When it first started, and then it blew up in 2020. A lot of people became millionaires from Bitcoin, but they say now it's not the same. Thank you, Nira. That's such a compliment. Compliment. I'm okay, but I know people who are very, I wish they could come on the live because they have so much knowledge. And you know the how we get knowledge in 2026, guys, we have to read books, listen to podcasts. I know people go to the news, but it's not always the news. You have to educate yourself and listen to podcasts and listen to the news, not the news, I'm sorry, read books, self-help books. Good morning, Gilbert. Where are you? Try to help yourself that way. I talk to a lot of people and I also read. So that's how I gain knowledge from a lot of things. I can talk all the time, guys. And I'm not saying someone who don't talk. Sometimes if you listen, you'll also learn. You'll learn a lot. But I feel like people can become rich off Bitcoin, but you can't have to be careful. Not all Bitcoin is a scam. They have the ones who, the Bitcoin that can make you rich. I just joined the Bitcoin too late. I have a few shares of it, but I don't think the shares that I have in Bitcoin will make me rich. But, I just have it sitting there. We'll see. They say the stock market will crash. They say Bitcoin won't crash, but the market is the market. It goes up and down, it fluctuates. So don't ever give up. Nira wants to be rich on his Bitcoin, and I don't think anyone should give up on their hopes and dreams. Good morning from India. I don't think anyone should give up on their homes, hope and dreams. Right. If it's a scam, it doesn't work because a lot of people who scammed on the Bitcoin, they all got caught. Not all of them, but I saw that they were cracking down on a lot of them. A lot of them became millionaires and a lot of them had to give money back. It was a big thing. It was a big thing. So how is it in India? It was a big thing. But you definitely have to be careful, like Jankla is saying. If you're investing in anything, you have to definitely do your resource. You yes, you have to do your resource. Do your resource. I'm sorry, guys. I've been up very since early this AM. I had a sport event. Do your research. I had a sport event, so I got no sleep. You have to do your research for sure. Don't let people scam you. But there's also a lot of different ways that you can get rich, in 2026. Don't just AI is a big thing. So you guys have to learn AI, learn how to be a part of the AI team in order to get rich. Look into AI. There's plenty ways, but I believe in order to get rich, sometimes you have to work slow and steady. There's a lot of people in the US who work very hard, I mentioned, and there's only about 10% of people who will become rich. So if you'd like to be that 10%, then find a way to do it. If you like to be, it's a very small percentage, but if you can do it. I think that's why a lot of people scam to get rich because it's very hard to get rich when you have so many competition out there. And sometimes there's people who you have a plan. If you have a niche, something that nobody has created, and nobody have done before and you feel like that could become popular, then that could also get you rich. But sometimes you have to put goals, write down goals about why would do you want to become rich? What's the purpose? What's the goal? you know, because there's plenty of people who are content with being like middle class. They live comfortable, but being rich is a different level. Why do you want to be rich? What do you want to do with that money? What do you want to do with those finances? Yeah, AI is good, but my thing with AI, I spoke about it before. is you also should make sure you educate yourself with other things. Don't let AI do everything for you, because you'll also lose your brain and your knowledge. You'll also become, like I said, a robot, because a computer will be thinking for you. You won't be able to think for yourself. So make sure you guys can think for yourself as well. But I feel like, yes, the Google Gemini is very good. They're helping a lot of people. If you're writing a book or you're researching, right, you can use AI, because they said the scientists use or will be using AI to make the artificial organs, and they probably use AI to help them to find medicine as well, because there's a lot of information that's placed in the AI and the research. You can search and find absolutely anything with AI. So, yeah, AI is pretty good. So, look into that. That's the big thing. But I think AI will be there, but will AI take away human knowledge and human power? No, because AI is just the computer. We still need our brains to function, we still need our knowledge. And that's what I'm saying, to be careful with AI. It's good and it's also bad to me, but it will help a lot of people. I just hope that it doesn't ruin the entire job market. I just hope that people are still able to work, because the economy is not good and we don't want everyone becoming homeless, do we? Yeah, AI in healthcare, I would imagine is really big, you know. Excuse me. I would imagine that AI in healthcare is, they need it. They definitely need it. I think it will help a lot of industry, me personally. And it's already doing that. It's already doing that, because AI is not new. It's just, it's not new. It's coming to the forefront now, but it's been around. They've been testing it out and using it for a while now. It's not new. So, right, certain industries will be gone, and I feel bad. So I'll feel bad. That's why I say save your money, so that when all your career and everything is gone, you'll have money. Get passive income. Get passive income to help you and your family. Don't think of a job. I'm not saying get rid of the 9 to 5 job, but think of a passive income, because these employers, they don't care. We're pretty much all just a number. We're a number and we can be replaced. We can be replaced. We're all a number that can be replaced. And you have to think of your future. Yes, we're here on earth living. We need to survive. We need to eat. We need to live a lifestyle, but it depends on the lifestyle you live. But think of your future. And like I said, AI definitely will be taking over. And most companies, you're just a number. They're gonna do things that will they will do things that will help their company financially. Most companies are doing that now. They need to cut costs because there's barely any money in the economy. So they're doing things to cut costs and to save their company. And who's the major companies helping? They're helping mainly the CEOs, guys, because if you see how much the CEO makes, they make millions. A regular employee don't make millions. So if anything goes wrong, the CEO will be okay. But will a regular employee be okay? Probably not. So as a working person, you have to, put yourself, okay. Yeah, I think AI is good to figure things out, but I don't think that's, yeah. I don't think human intelligence will be gone, but I just feel like humans, is that the is that the guy for the AGI? A lot of the crypto geniuses was scandalous. They were scandalous. Right. You're right. You're right, Nero. But I do feel like they'll have robots like the Jetsons, that will be doing stuff for us. Did you see the AI dog? I think they'll have robots for the Jetsons, but I don't think or they'll have AGI will be in our lifetime for sure. I don't think so because it's controlled by humans anyway. So no. That would be scary. I think they might have them, the robots that mimic us, but crypto is a scam. You see what I get crypto and Bitcoin mixed up because Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. I get that mixed up as well. That's why I don't deal with that, guys. You see, I'm no expert because I would probably get scammed because I think a lot of people they see when people get rich quick, like they can do it, but to get rich quick is not for everyone. Some people are just lucky, some people are just scammers. They scam their way to the top and they make it look like it's they're really working hard behind the scenes when they're just scamming. Okay, that makes it safer. Okay. Okay. So Bitcoin is not a crypto. That's interesting. I had no idea. I thought Bitcoin was a part of the cryptocurrency. See, that is strange. Ever since I tried to make money off of it and I didn't, I just got uninterested and all my research went out the window. You know? Because they said we would get rich quick with them and who's rich? It's just too much. They're just everything they want people to get rich, rich, rich. I think everything is like a Ponzi scheme and they're just trying to get people's money. That's about it. And 2020 made it really hard. It made it so much easier for the scammers to get money and the scammers to get people's information. And it's just made it easy for people to do what they want to others. Oh, they don't know. Yeah, they probably don't know what they're doing. I thought see, both of you are saying Bitcoin. One is saying Bitcoin is a crypto, and the other one is saying it's not a crypto. So, you know what I'll do? I'll do my own research. I'll do my own research. Yeah, I'll Google it. I'll definitely Google it. So I'll remember conversations. I always do. And I will Google it. And yeah, I thought Bitcoin was a digital money and I thought it was one of the cryptocurrency, like the top one. I thought it was like the number one, like Bitcoin was first and then the other one was, it starts with a E. What's the one with a E? Ugh, can't remember it. There's one that starts with a E and then Sheba, and I know Sheba was pushed in our faces. There's so many now. What's the Bitcoin with what's the crypto with a E that's below Bitcoin? I can't remember the name, guys. I cannot remember the name. I will Google Nero because I will Google. Okay. Okay. I will Google. I will definitely Google. And then maybe one day we can all have a conversation because the conversation was not about Bitcoin today, but it turned into Bitcoin. I don't definitely know anything. Like, I cannot teach people about Bitcoin. I know I invested in a bunch. Shiba, there's another one. It starts, see, I don't remember. I can't. Well, I know a friend who's really into cryptocurrency, so I can ask her. Remember, I told you I have a friend who's very intelligent and she knows a lot. So I will. Do you guys do Coinbase? Coinbase that's not a scam? I remember I put money into a wallet and I no longer remember the password, but it wasn't a lot of money. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. I will research what you guys are saying. I'll definitely research and then we'll see. I'll research and then I'll probably come on because I have a friend who's really into cryptocurrency and I can call her and she can tell me everything about it because I think we invested in Shiba and it starts with a E, the other cryptocurrency. It starts with a E. I can't remember the name at all. Ethereum or something. Ethereum, I can't remember the name. I would have to research, and I don't feel like doing that right now. But it was like the second largest. I don't know if it's still the second largest because this is all from like 2020 where I was so excited like the rest of the world that we all would be rich. I'm sure a lot of Ethereum. Okay, yes, that was the other one that I invested in. Shiba, Ethereum, and there was another one, but I cannot remember. What do you mean? Coinbase, you can get money, you can sell them and get that money. So I've been able to, I invested in them on Coinbase, and when I say, "Oh, I'm done," I sell it and I get the money. So it does give you money, Nero. It does. How is it a scam if you're making money? So Coinbase is a scam? I have to research. Like I said, I don't invest in those things because to me, yeah, it's a scam that you'll get rich. You won't get rich like they're saying. It's not true. It's not real. So maybe some people have. What's the point? Can you elaborate, please? Can you elaborate? Well, if you guys go on my Instagram or send me a message with your email, maybe one day we can schedule a live. If you guys don't want to show your face, you don't have to, but your voices will be heard. So it's okay. So the point, well, I didn't make any money off of that. I'm sorry. I'm not, I stay away from stocks because it's just not for me. My friends are good at that, but it's not for me. That's not something I'm interested in because it just turned me off. It turned me off. It's very much turned me off, and I'm over it. I just know some of us have to work hard. We have to work hard in order to get rich. We won't be able to do all the scamming like everyone else is doing to get rich, do all the scamming and scheming. A lot of people. Okay. Okay, so that makes sense to pump and dump. Yep, I've heard of pump and dump. I have. That makes a lot of sense. So that's what's happening on Coinbase. Okay. So near now I get your point. They pretend like you're making money, but you're not really making money. Nero, see, I have a father who loves to play the lotto. And my husband, he loves to play the lotto. And I feel like I tell them it's a scam. Like they don't want you to win. Remember, I talked about the Powerball, how everyone, I was talking about the Powerball before on my live, how you barely win the Powerball. Like they'll have you play, everyone keep going, and it goes up to like $1 billion. It went up to 1 billion, and they always have someone win it the day before Christmas. And it's the lotto to me is a scam. Jangalas, I believe with you. I think the lotto is a scam because you can play, and you don't win. Like you're hoping and praying. They make you feel like you're gonna win, but you're not gonna win. It's like a 1 in a million chance for you to win. Hi, Rose Levan. How are you? Nero, you're okay. Don't let it look that bad. You don't have to. I'm not saying, yes, if you want to get rich, I hope you get rich. But I don't think it's the end of the world. You should not let it make you feel like it's going to make or break you if you're not rich. I'm doing good, Rose. How are you? I'm doing good. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It should not break or make or break you if you don't get rich near, but I know you're a man, and most men want to have money because money make them feel powerful. The topic was pretty much, should men be providers, and how can a man provide if he doesn't have money? He needs money to provide, money to take care of a female, you know? So I understand your pain, but Nero, whether you work, you'll work one step at a time and you'll make it. I don't think you have bad luck, Nero. No, you don't. Your time is just not here yet, but it will come. It's okay. Right. The people who got rich on Bitcoin did get lucky. So, but that was their story and their life. That's their life, and it's okay. When it's your time, it's your time. It wasn't your time to get rich that way. So, we each have a path to walk. We each have a lifeline. We each have a path. We each have a story. If they're rich on that with those resources, that's their life. It's not your life. And it's okay. We can be happy for them. We can't be envious. Good for them. But right, Jankalas, you'll win a little bit, but to win it big, I know people. I actually, my uncle know a guy who won $1 million. So, but they were playing for years, over 30 plus years before they won the $1 million. And we know people who have won like over $200,000 on the lotto. But those people, they play. So those people, they play every day, that win. But you're right. It's one in a few chances for you to win, you know? Jan Kalas, only the scammers get lucky. Nero, I don't know. Nero, you're just beating yourself up because you didn't get rich off Bitcoin. I just feel that about you, but I'm sorry, this may sound harsh, but you have to get over it and try another way. You keep, yeah, Nero, you weren't meant to get rich on Apple that way. So you have to get over it. Nero, me and you are in the same page when it comes to Apple. I took my investments and put it into something else instead of when I look back, I say I should have put all my money into Apple. If I did, I would have been perfectly fine. But then someone was telling me to put it here, put it there, put it there, put it there, and I listened to them, and I should have never listened to them. I should have just put a lump sum into Apple and I would have been good. But you know what? You can still put money into Apple and still be rich. Maybe in 10 years you'll be rich, you know? Maybe in 10 years. I love Apple. See? Nero, you have to move on from not winning an Apple. You have to move on because it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't your time. We all want to be rich now. Let's all say it. I want to be rich now. I want to be rich now. But we're all rich. We're rich in spirit. We're all here. I'm Jamaican. Yes, I'm very much Jamaican. But we're all rich near. We're rich in spirit. Are you healthy? You're healthy. You're wise. You have your brain. You don't have a mental problem. Not talking about people, but you're able to think clearly, get up daily. I hope so. I can't see you, but you're rich in spirit, rich in mind. You have a new day that you can live and talk. So it's okay. You'll be rich again. You'll get a chance to be rich again, Nero. I say you'll be rich again, maybe in another lifetime you're rich, but you'll be rich, Nero. You want to be rich so bad? Trust me. I am telling you, you'll be rich and you'll tell us about it. You'll come back on my live and tell us about the fact that you will be rich. Don't have anxiety over not being rich, hon. I told you only 1 in 10 people, 1 in 10% in the United States is rich. So if you see that percentage, you know that it's a very low chance from you to become rich. If you don't have enough skincare routine, if you don't have enough cash, well, I don't use much skincare routine. I just use a face wash, Cetaphil face wash. I have Retin-A. I had to use that because my skin was breaking out. Retin-A from my doctor. And then I just use the Neutrogena, the Surge. It's expensive though, $17 for that little thing, but it moisturizes your face so well. But you know what, guys? You can just put Vaseline on your skin at night. It makes it soft and smooth. It's now 7:57 p.m. Nero, the people that brag that they're rich, their karma will come because you're not supposed to brag about your riches. People who brag about their riches normally will lose it all soon. I'm telling you, you should always stay humble. When you get rich, stay humble. I've never seen Michael Jordan brag about being rich. I've never seen Michael Jordan, the basketball player. Yeah, I use Acuphor, but a lot of people I say they've used Vaseline. But I would say a face wash, a moisturizer with sunscreen, you know, drink a lot of water. Right. I know you're not comparing here, but I'm saying in general, if once anyone become rich or wealthy, you can teach people how, but make sure you stay humble. Because if you're not humble, the universe will definitely humble you. But Jordan is already rich. Are you saying you should be rich, Jordan rich like Michael Jordan? That means you're comparing yourself to him and you're not him. He had to work very hard to become rich. He had, using your body to play basketball physically is very hard. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, I wish I was like him. But a lot of people didn't have the dedication and the courage. My kids are in sports, and when I see them work out 2 days, 2 hours a day for 4 days a week, a lot of us don't have that motivation to go work out. And then at the meets, they have to do 2 or 3 runs, get up early, sometimes getting up at 4 in the morning to go drive. We have to drive 3 hours away, or we're losing sleep, we're losing our weekends. Those are the type of dedication that Michael Jordan had to become the way he is. Now, with your finances and your money, you have to be the same way. You have to be able to do things that other people are not willing to do. You have to be able to, let's say you have to budget, you have to track your spending, you have to do this, you have to do that. In order to become rich, you have to not, if you do something that you're not supposed to do, say you go out to eat all the time, you have to quit that if you want to become rich. You have to sacrifice. Right. He did earn it, but you'll earn it too. You'll earn it. If you're meant to be rich, you'll earn it the right way. I mean, not everyone earn it the right way, but if you work hard at whatever you're saying you want to become rich at, you probably will. Who knows? Excuse me. Who knows? Right, Nero. They got lucky. They did, but the universe said they were meant to be rich in that way. The universe said they were meant to be rich. So that was just their destiny. Do you believe in destiny in your own walk? That was their life story. Right. Look how happy Kanye is and he's rich. He got bamboozled in the industry. Now he has a mental problem. For someone to be so talented and then he's, mentally he's not there, you can't really enjoy your riches because your brain is not where it should be. So be careful when you ask for riches. What does it entails? These people, they're rich, but what do their life entails? I always say I do not look up to celebrities. I do not look up to the rich. I do not look up to people with money. To me, they're just regular humans beings. They're not any different from you and I. They just have money. Money is just an attachment. It's a thing. It's not it doesn't even define them as a person. You don't know them as a person, you know? Nira, I don't know what to say to you tonight. I don't know, but you and the rich, I just hope you get rich, and I hope you listen to the things that I have to say. Money is just a form of riches, but what about your mental health, your physical health, your spirit? Those are riches too. There's people who have nothing and they're very much happy. So, financial riches are not, yes, I'm not going to say it's not all, because of course I would like to be financially rich, but it doesn't make or break you as a person. Okay, Nero, I think I got your point. I think I got your point, Nero. Buenos dias, Sam. ¿Cómo estás? Yeah, they shouldn't, but they're going to brag. They're going to brag. So you're telling me Michael Jordan wasn't rich because he played the sport? He got paid a lot to play basketball. So, Nira, I have to disagree with that. I think it's a mixture of both. We saw him play on the court. We saw how hard he worked. So, I have to disagree with your comment. I don't think anyone should brag about their riches. I don't really think anyone should brag about their riches. You know, you can appreciate it, but to brag, bragging is a negative thing. So you shouldn't brag about anything. You know, bragging, if you brag, karma could hit you. Does he deserve to be rich? There's a lot of people who work hard and they're not rich. They're working hard, it's just not publicized on TV. There's a lot of people who work very hard and they don't get rich. So that was just Michael Jordan's life story. That's just his story, his path, his destiny. You know, that was his destiny. And does he deserve it? Yes, because he worked hard. And you know what Michael did that most of us should do? Michael told them, "Oh, you have to pay me this or else I'm not playing." So he knew his worth and he told them his worth and he got his worth. So a lot of people are working, they're working hard, but they're working for below whatever their worth is. And so that's why they're not getting rich. That's why you're not making it, because you should know your worth. Tell people what your worth is. Don't just let people pay you anything, you know? Okay. Okay, they're not talented, but they're rich. So there's nothing we can do about that. So let it go. Let it go, Nero. He got filthy rich from playing, and he also got rich from his shoe deal. Look at Jordan's. People are still obsessed. Like my kids don't even watch basketball like that. They don't. I had to teach them about Michael Jordan, and they are obsessed with the shoe Jordans, you know? So the shoe Jordans are making him a whole lot of money and his investments, you know? My kids are what? They're not even teenagers yet, and they know about Jordan. His shoe is very much popular. Nira, you're funny. I don't know where you're getting that, but I'm not going to keep going back and forth over Michael Jordan and the crypto people. They're not the same, Nira. There's other people who get rich by working hard. I'm telling you, I work in the finance industry, so I know that there's millionaires who are not celebrities, okay? They have millionaires who are not celebrities that do regular jobs. There's millionaires who are CEOs. There's millionaires who work in the finance industry. There's millionaires who are salespeople. They just have regular jobs and they're millionaires. That's why I'm telling you, you have to know your worth. You have to know your worth and, go for what you want. There's regular folks like me and you who are not celebrities who make over $1 million a year. It is what it is. They're millionaires. They get $1 million bonuses. They're not Michael Jordan, but that's just who they are. They work at companies that can pay them that much. And so that if those crypto people are rich, kudos to them. They got lucky. I'm happy for them. We just have to move on from that because it is what it is. Right. I understand you're not upset, you're happy. I'm not into Michael Jordan like that anymore. I'm his fan. I'm happy for him, but I didn't like what he did to his wife, his first wife, but it is what it is. Oh, well, if they're doing that, I hopefully they get humbled very, very soon. Right. That's how Taylor Swift got rich. I love Michael Jordan as well, Nero. Trust me, I love Michael Jordan. And, they can teach other people how to make money. They have other ways. Like he could teach people with the business deal. Have Jordan been a help or taught people how to do anything? He can use his knowledge now to help other people. Okay, guys. So, okay. Yep, I love, yeah, he's talented. He's very talented, trust me. I watch all his games, all of his games. So guys, the topic pretty much was a man supposed to be a provider? So if a man, I guess a man have to be rich to be a provider. And yeah, Michael Jordan should be rich because he's rich. You know, people loved him. They loved his story. Should he be rich? I don't know. That was his destiny. He is rich, you know. That was his destiny to be rich. Who should be rich versus who should be poor? Who determines that? You know, society determines who should be rich versus who should be poor. We all work hard. So my thing in my head is why should one person work hard, another person work hard? One get rich and one don't. I don't know who makes up that deal or who what rule that is in the book, but if people are saying because somebody play basketball well and they're good, they should be rich. There's other people who play basketball well and they're not rich. So we don't know why the universe is like that. It's all politics, but for all those people who are rich, are very happy for you. And what you can do is teach others how you can become rich, teach others how you can become a millionaire, teach others how you can help men be providers, and teach others how to help people stop being scammers. Yes, I feel like I'm rich too. You know why? Because I'm rich in spirit. So that's how I feel. I'm rich in spirit. I'm rich in spirit, okay? Son, I wish you all the best. Take your medicines if you feel like it. Jen Lass. Yeah, Joe Rogan talks a lot of crap. Right. I agree with Nero. No one should tell you to have fun being poor. You know, that will make a poor person want to become rich more if you say have fun being poor. So now I get your point, Nero. They're become rich just by luck and they're being very, very egotistical and bragging and boasting about it. Trust me, their karma catches people who do things like that. I've never, me personally, listened to Joe Rogan. So you guys are a different crowd from me, but I'll go listen to, you know who listens to Joe Rogan? My mom. So I will definitely have to go listen to Joe Rogan. Right, Nero. I understand. I understand what you're saying. I do. No, I don't. Jack Glass. No, I don't. I don't know Peter Thiel, but I will look into it. I'm sure my mom knows all those people because she's into politics and all that. But guys, I hope you guys all are able to work towards your goal in 2026. I hope you can get rich. I hope we can all get rich. Mark my words, by the end of 2026, we'll all get rich. You know, look into Joe Rogan and Peter Thiel. I've heard of Joe Rogan, but never Peter Thiel, but I'll look into it. I'll look into it. I'll definitely look into it, you know? Okay. I'll look into him. Is he, are these people on Fox News? Because you're sounding like those type of people. Right. The earth doesn't have enough money for everybody to be rich. Right, son. I agree with that. Right. Okay. I'll look into him. I'll look into him. He's like one of the billionaires in the US because the US have 900 billionaires, you know? Guys, don't forget to like my live as you enter the live. So I will look into them. You see, a lot of people who are billionaires or rich people, they don't have great personality traits. I'm wondering why. The money changed them. Right. I don't think near that everyone can be rich because some people just don't know what to do with their money. They'll do money to hurt others. They'll use money to hurt themselves. They just cannot handle money. And I think that's why some of us are rich and some of us are not, because not everyone can handle money. Look at what's happening in Hollywood and the world where drugs, money, and power is, you know, ruining everything. Of course, I know Elon Musk. Nero, you're making me laugh. You're just so funny. You're hilarious. You're hilarious. You're very hilarious. I think you need to have a meeting with Michael Jordan because you are so obsessed with that man. When my spirit don't really cling to someone, like it will not. Michael Jordan is not. I don't look up to celebrities the way you guys do. Like celebrities are just people to me. They're not like special. So that's just my take. Celebrities are not special to me. I've never looked at a celebrity and say, oh, they're so awesome. Oh, they're this, they're that. No. Because to me, I don't know them. I have to get to know them on a real life level. And they're just humans to me that have a different job. I cannot gloat over them, and they're not God to me. And I'm not getting any of their money. So what's the point? You know, Michael Jordan is not giving me his money. He wants my money. He wants my money. He's not giving me money. I have to pay, to make him rich. I have to give him a service. He have a service. You have to give him money. The consumers are not getting rich. You're getting poor for idolizing this man and think, oh, whatever he wears, whatever he sells is great. You know? So, hi, Mohammed. How are you? I know that about Elon. So I don't understand why everyone is obsessed over rich people. They're just people. They're not helping me. Okay. I, I, I feel like if a rich person is doing well, you know what is it, Bezos, his ex-wife? You see how much money she donated after they got the divorce and he gave her that much money? That's what people should do with money. I don't buy Jordan. Right, you have to buy the shoes and the clothes. And when my kids ask me to buy Jordan, I say no. There's no point because you're selling a little pair of sneakers for $200. Why are they doing that? Why are you guys? I don't idolize the rich. I don't idolize the rich. I don't idolize the rich. They're just people. Yes, they can teach me how to get rich, but I don't idolize them because we're all humans. Right. It is capitalism. It is. You're right, Jen Colette. It's very much is capitalism. They want they want to be rich, and then the poor people or the middle class, we have to pretty much pay into them. We have to buy everything that they're selling, and then it's like, why can't they help us get rich? You cannot idolize the rich guys. They have so much skeletons in their closet. They're doing so much that, stop idolizing them. A lot of them, they have money and they're doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. Look at the Epstein list. Did it come out? I'm sure we're going to hear lots of shockers about these rich people that you guys look up to, you know? Don't look up to them. Where, yeah, it's good that they're rich, but why do people idolize them? It's like I'm really confused as to why a regular folk, a regular person idolize somebody just because they have money. They're not helping you with your daily bills. They're not helping you. They can't alleviate any of my pains. They can't alleviate me. They cannot help me when I'm having a meltdown. They cannot, help me with my children. They can't do anything and they don't care. They don't care. So I'm just little old Carla to them. They don't care about me. They just want my money pretty much. They just want me to support whatever they're selling. So I'm not saying you can't support them, but don't idolize them. Don't idolize them. They're not anyone to be idolized. Stop idolizing celebrities. Stop idolizing the rich. Stop idolizing everything. No, John, I have not said that today. So I have not. I'm trying my best not to say it. I know I don't like pause or quiet when I'm talking. So that's why I say that word a lot. Yeah, the Kardashians are idolized by their looks. They all cut up their looks. I'm not saying they're not beautiful with their plastic and they dress nice, some of them. But it's like, do you do you know what's happening behind closed doors, behind the scenes? Why are people obsessed with these people? I, d- I don't see anything special about them. Yes, I believe that, John. They have to be because why would people be obsessed? They're doing some type of magic on people because I don't understand why we're obsessed over looks. We want to become like someone who pretty much just wants her money. She wants you to buy her skims. They want you to feed into whatever they're selling. They're already rich, but they just want your money as a consumer. That's it. That's pretty much all they want. At the end of the day, they don't care about us. They don't. They just care about themselves and how rich they make their families. And like I was saying, make your own family rich. Stop making these celebrities rich and stop idolizing them. They're not all that to me. I don't think they're all that. I don't see anything great. And a lot of them are not talented. They're just regular people. A lot of people are so brainwashed by celebrities. I remember one day I made a comment saying, "Oh, why are people obsessed with Stefan Curry?" And they said he was important. If you in your life think a celebrity is more important than you, like what you see around yourself, then you're a part of the problem in this world. And I can't help you. I don't think the universe can help you because I think you're already brainwashed and it will not come back. And I feel like in 2026, a lot will come out about celebrities. Will be shocked. Look at the Diddy thing. That was a shocker. Even though I just said, but they were saying there were hints, lots of hints. But yep, I just said it, John. There were lots of hints, and we didn't see it. People kept saying hints from here, but look at that. Right. Kanye West went crazy because I feel like with Kanye West, they wanted him to conform, they wanted him to be a certain way. And how can you guys take a talented guy that is more popular than you and want him to conform into your way? No, he had to be free, so he had to get out of there, you know? I'm not brainwashed. I was never brainwashed by celebrities. Okay, so right, because they probably don't stream it as much on TV, Nairo. They probably don't. Diddy wasn't a shocker to me. It wasn't. I'm just saying that people look up to these celebrities like they're God and look at everything that Diddy was doing. And do you guys think Diddy did it by himself? Diddy is probably mad he's behind bars. He's about to start telling. There's a bunch of celebrities that were around Diddy. Did you see them? There was a bunch of celebrities around him. Okay, Jank is a celebrity in Netherlands. Okay, I will look into that. I will look into the Netherlands, Nero, because you're into it, so I'll look into it. I've never heard of Floor Jansen either, but I will definitely look into it. It looked like Nero, like very eccentric things that's not American. So, Jen Kalas, you don't watch TV, but that's good because there's so much negative things on TV. They just push a lot of negativity in our faces. Okay, Nero. Nero, are you Italian? What's your nationality? Because you talk a lot about Sweden and Netherlands. A night wish. I don't think that's his real name. Oh, wow. I thought you lived in Buffalo, New York. Now you live in Lowell, Massachusetts. See, I got you on that one, Nero. Guys, I have great memory. So once you tell me everything and I know who you are, then okay, I understand. We all can travel. Okay, you live in Massachusetts. I got it. Son, where are you from? Hong Kong? Thailand? Oh, Korean. Philippines? Son, you need to go to bed. You need to go to bed. It's past your bedtime. Ooh, I was close, son. I was close. Do you still live in Samoa? John. Oh, wow. Oh, it's morning there. So, isn't it almost time for school, son? Okay, that makes sense. Well, I saw Wu Kong. Hi, Mega Black Accents. How are you? Your last name, I guess we don't know. Okay. I understand, Nira. I misunderstood you when you said something earlier. Now, isn't that funny, John S. Snow? You made a very valid comment. Okay, Jon Snow, that's an interesting comment that I shall have tonight with someone. You know, you made a good point. You're eating hot dog for breakfast, son? Where's your parents? Hot dog? That's what they eat in Samoa for breakfast, hot dogs? No, honey. Okay. Yes, we do travel to places to see things like a band. I know I traveled, what, 2 hours to see a band in Boston, or 2.5 hours? Right. Jon Snow, if anyone can say it, you can. You know? There I go saying, you know. They say me saying, you know, is I don't like quiet, I don't like pause. Or people will say it if they want you to agree with them, which I mentioned, it's like you're in agreement. It's like, you know, saying like, you know what I'm talking about. So that's why I say, you know, a lot, because I'm thinking you guys know what I'm talking about. So I'm thinking you know what I'm talking about. So I'll say you know a lot. So that happens. And my brain just wants to say it. It's just on the tip of my tongue. Okay. Nero, I misunderstood you. Probably so, John. Probably that's the case. Maybe that's the case. Who knows? But I am having conversations with you tonight, back and forth. Hi, D Nice. How are you tonight? Right, John, which is not a good thing, but I'll try to work on it, like I said. It's on the tip of my tongue to say it, but you see how I pause? I have to pause and not say it, but it's there. I'm trying not to say it. It's so hard, guys. It's so hard for me to not say the word, but it's awkward not to say it. It just feel like there's an awkward silence. Thank you, Nira. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I do like to talk to you guys. You guys have very interesting topics. And also, you let me know things that I don't normally would look up on a daily basis. And also, things I have to research. The world is broad. People think and do different things. So thank you for teaching me. Certain things you're teaching me, and of course, I'm teaching you too. So we're all getting to know different things about the world and each other. Thanks for saying. Thank you, Mega Black Essence. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, John, my son, who's 8, made fun of me for saying that word a lot. He watched my video and he said, Mom, you said that a lot. Yes, thank you, Nero. I like to do a topic because sometimes the conversation just go all over the place. You guys don't stick to the topic, but the topic that I had tonight was very interesting. It's because I saw something with a guy going out on a date, and then the girl, she invited her friends, and then all she expected him to pay for everything for all her friends, which I think that's unacceptable. If I'm dating you as a male, why are you bringing your friends to a date? Yes, I've been out with a man before where, we all go out and say we're at a bar, we're friends. And if my friends are there, maybe one or two, I don't have a bunch of friends that I go out with, they'll buy us drinks. But to say you're going to a whole sit down dinner on a date and you bring like 5 friends or 3 or 4 and expect the man to pay for the entire meal, that's unacceptable. A lot of people do that. Especially friends do it too, like strangers. I went on a brunch, and then a friend invited her friends, and the friends ordered meals that, were, I'm saying it again, I'm sorry. They ordered meals that were, it was, I'm saying they couldn't afford it. Like their meals were about, I would say, $80 each. And then my meal was about 45 bucks. And my friend had a drink that was about $15. So the other two people, they split the bill in four. So we had to pay for the excess of their meals. So I didn't appreciate that. So I told my friend that to never invite me out with those people again. Because if you're ordering drinks and meal for that much, you should be able to afford it. You know, if I go out, I know in my mind how much I'm willing to spend. And I know if I spend 84 bucks on a meal, yes, I go out and I say, yeah, I'm spending $84 today. It's mostly if it's salmon or something, or a fish meal and drinks is expensive. But there's people who will go out with you and then they want you to split the bill. So now I don't split the bill. I just ask for my portion of the bill. You give me my portion and I'll pay my portion. If you're not my friends, you're my friends. I'm not going to split the bill with you. If I say I'm going to take a friend out, I'll pay the bill. But people who come out with others and expect them to pay for their meal, that's ridiculous to me. Don't do that. It's disrespectful. I'm not your man. I'm not your man. As a woman, I feel like when women do that, they think the woman is their man. That's why I'm saying a woman should not provide. I'm not gonna provide for another woman. If I'm your friend and I say, oh, I'm gonna take you out for your birthday, that's different. If we're going out to brunch, we should understand for brunch, you pay for your meal and I pay for my meal. If I take you out on a birthday dinner, it's different. But a lot of people they go out with others to restaurants that, I'm not saying they can't afford it, but they don't want to pay that expense because they're like, it's too expensive. Some people just don't, some places they don't go because they don't want to spend that much on a meal, which is okay because it's your money. You can spend whatever you want. But for you to go out with a group of people and you order more and then want people to pay for your portion, that's not good. It's not good. Okay, John. Right. So you prefer for men to provide. Well, that's good because most of us want men to provide. Most of us, like me, I prefer a man to provide. I'm from a two-parent household and my father was the main provider. So I'm very traditional. In my mind, I expect a man to provide. So I get turned off if I hear anything about a man wanting a woman to support him. Some men are very manipulative. Look at Mary J. Blige's husband. She have to pay 200,000 for alimony, just because he was her manager. I'm sure she was paying him to be her manager. But when they got a divorce, she now have to pay 200,000. I have a friend who they got together at a young age. She became a professional, educated herself. Didn't do anything, he didn't work, he didn't want to work, didn't want to get a good job. And when they got a divorce, she had to give him half of her 401k. That's not acceptable to me. So protect your assets, protect yourself. And also, women, be careful of the men that you bring in your life because they're supposed to provide. I'm sorry. Women have to bear children. Men are supposed to provide and protect. A woman should have a peace of mind, a peaceful life. And once she have a peace of mind and a peaceful life, she will be your peace, guys. Okay? And that's it. She'll be your peace. She will be your peace. And that will be it. But yeah. So, guys, provide. There's a lot of guys on this live. Make sure you provide for your women. Make sure you treat women well because I know you have mothers, sisters, that aunties, grandmothers, if you have your grandmothers still living, that should be treated special, should be treated like a queen. Ah, she didn't want a peaceful life. You know why, Jan Kalas? Because she was a manipulating woman who wanted a man for money. That's a different topic for another day. Once you chase a man for money, then you will have to deal with all the consequences that come into your life. Once you chase a man for his riches and for what you think he have, then you'll face the consequences. But that's a different topic from what I am talking about. But it's crazy how you can invite a man in your life and he just caused a lot of problems. For Melania Trump, that is her life. She wanted the money, wanted the fame, and she got what she wanted. Chaos comes with money and chaos comes with fame. Okay, son. What are the consequences? The consequences of chasing a man for money is that sometimes you get a lot of heartache, you get a lot of pain, you get a lot of heartache, you get a lot of pain. Things will happen that you don't expect. I'm not saying a woman can get with a man. Yes, that's the first lady. The first lady, that's the consequences. She got with somebody because she wanted the money and the fame. Does she look like she love her husband? I don't think she looked like she loved her husband. Well, I Obama's wife was a professional. She was a lawyer, so I don't think she depended on him for money. She was also a professional herself. Okay, guys, you guys are talking about different things in the topic. But Michelle did win because did I feel Obama gave her a piece, but trust me, when you're in so much power, any first lady have to deal with a lot of problems. They don't have the peace that they want to get because being a president comes with a lot of problems. So women in those positions, lots of stress, a lot of problem. They're trying to rule a country. So, right, John. Okay. I understand, Nero. Well, when it comes to a man and woman, I don't believe in going gut Dutch. Well, if you're going out with your girlfriends or a group of friends, maybe. Unless someone say, okay, they're gonna pay, then you know, it's okay. So going Dutch, it depends on the people, not for a man or woman, like a couple. The providing thing is for a couple. Or if you're married is different because the man is supposed to provide. If a man and a woman is married and the man is not providing, then his ego will be bruised. We know that. So, not always. It depends on the relationship. You know, it depends. Well, guys, thank you so much. I have to end the conversation now because it's late. It's about 8:46 p.m. here, and I have to get ready for tomorrow for the week. I thank you guys so much for coming on and talking to me tonight. I really enjoyed our conversation. Lots of different topics. You guys were all over the place, but hey, we curved it back in. And I feel like most of you are men on here think a man is supposed to provide. So hopefully the next topic, which will be tomorrow, I'll be on tomorrow. And tomorrow's topic, if I can stick to the topic, is will be should a woman be lusted after based on the clothes she wears? So that's a good topic because a lot of women they wear like tight clothes, short clothes, skin showing, and a lot of them get upset that men lust after them or they're provocative towards them or say provocative things. And my question is, why are they wearing those clothes if they don't want to be lusted after, you know? But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Have a great night, guys, and think about that topic that we'll talk about tomorrow if you're on. I think I'll be on around 7 or 8 o'clock, but it should say the time of the live tomorrow, but I'll talk to you guys tomorrow because I have to get to bed for tomorrow to get ready for the work week. So I love you guys. Thank you for talking. You guys are great, great conversationalists, and have a great night, guys, and see you tomorrow. Bye.